All right. Peace, everybody. Can everybody hear me? Welcome to Aboriginal Global Media. We are here tonight to talk about our Indigenous Solstice fast. The presentation is for you to get an opportunity to ask questions and learn about why we are talking about what we are talking about. What do we mean by Indigenous Solstice fast, aka Ramadan? How is Ramadan in December? What does that have to do with us being indigenous? And all of the questions and concerns that you can have on the historicity of the subject. I have been covering this subject for 17 years straight. I have published various materials on the subject over the years, and we're going to keep sharing that data. I released one book today. I haven't released the other one. Let's see if we can share another aspect of this. This is the book right here, an introductory guide to our Indigenous Solstice fast, aka Ramadan. And this material is a brief material that you can get. You can go to our main website. I'll share the link in all of the chats. So everybody can have that. We are streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, and wherever else these streams go. We did not release the second book, but we will. It's loaded, and it's a lot of academic stuff. I wanted you to get some of the premise of what we are sharing first, and then get the opportunity to actually understand what we are saying. Because we are talking about a very controversial subject, I will answer questions in the chat as they come, as I see them. I know that some of you may be Muslim, Orthodox Muslim, whatever. You know, you might be African, you might be Arab, you might be Arab in the sense of Arab Muslim. You might be whatever you are. You might be a follower of Imam Wafiddin Muhammad. You might be a follower of student or a follower of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Minister Farrakhan, whatever you may be. I don't know. My job is not to convince you. My job is to answer your questions, and my job is to present what we're presenting. But this is actually a fun period for us because although it has an academic aspect to it, there is much more to this period than academics. As a matter of fact, academics are probably about 10%. The other 90% of what this time period represents is what we are going to talk about. I put inside of the chat, just so everybody can see, if you want the ebook, you can go get the ebook. It will support our research. I don't get funding from large endowments like the scholars of Harvard University or whatever. I pay for all of this myself, and I have for 17 years. We've been doing a good job at that too. And that is because we don't want to have our scholarship compromised. You take money from people in some aspects, and then you have a problem because they want you to do what they want you to do because you work for them now. And I have not worked for anybody in a very long time, and I don't plan to. unless it's amongst my own tribe and people. And so, yeah, we are about to go into this subject. We're going to talk about prayer and meditation. We're going to talk about why we're doing Ramadan in December. What does it have to do with the actual textual evidence from the Quran? The far out things that you think might not be true, but we can absolutely prove, like me saying that the Salat system actually comes from America and was transferred over into the East. Me saying that the ancient Egyptians are actually the real Moors, the first ones, and they had thousands of years of contact with our ancestors here in the Western Hemisphere, so much so that there was admixture. Me discussing what gave rise to what we're calling Islam. It was not what you think it was. The whole traditional story of a Prophet Muhammad meditating in the cave and being an Arab in Mecca and Medina is absolutely false. It is empirically false. You have no proof. And I have been teaching this for 17 years, and I haven't seen anybody bring forth any evidence to controvert what we have been saying. All the way down to the Manzil calendars, the sidereal calendars, etc. The divination systems that the Moors took back to the East after learning them here. Then the Catholics came in the 1500s and learned the same thing. Today you call it cartomancy and tarot. It is actually a Olmec Mayan calendar system called the Tune calendar system in the Zulukin. We are the practitioners of that system today. It is an indigenous American system. So the world is not what people have made you believe it was. The world was very cosmopolitan. People interacted for thousands of years before Columbus ever got here. And you just need material. You need books. You need literature. You need education to help you with that story. Because if you don't get it, you'll never understand exactly what we're saying. I'm pulling out some more notes. And what we're saying in these fields is super important. Super, super important. All right. So here we are. We are here to talk about heritage, history, all of those things. And forgive me, I have not had food all day. We're going to talk about the fasting, how to perform the fasting, the prayers, why they're important, and the time period. The time period is the most sacred cycle in the year. And if you take advantage of the time period in the sense of your awareness of what to do, what to focus on, you set your rhythm for all of the rest of the year. Not only that, we're going into some very other controversial subjects. Like, where did Christmas come from? Where did the use of red and green colors come from in Christmas? Where did the concept of a Christmas tree come from? How is that tied to Sidrat al-Muntaha? In the same surah that I'm saying marks the sidereal starbase calculations for Ramadan. What about New Year's? Y'all going to drop the ball? Did you know that the Moors had New Year's as a holy day? It's in the Quran. And the Masons, if you want to use that term, we can use that term. That's a good term to use. Not as academic when I get down to the details, but fraternal brotherhoods of Eurasians. They stole the whole thing, all the way down to Thanksgiving and what this time period, why we're celebrating things from an indigenous perspective here in the Americas and in the East. All of this is surrounding this conversation. And the unfortunate part is indigenous people in Africa and in America have had their worlds flipped upside down. So now they're participating in things that they don't know that was originally culturally theirs. And now they got to take it back. Or they can take it back. They have an opportunity to study the things that will make them reflect upon it. And so we just celebrated Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is literally an indigenous harvest festival ceremony. It was the last harvest before winter comes in. And the signs, the gourds, the cornucopias, all of these things were things that we were celebrating when Europeans came here. You've heard all types of stories about the Wampanoag, and you are doing surface level research, and you need teams of scholars, institutions that do dissertations, do really good primary research, so you won't keep being a parrot. And more than anything, this is about your purpose. Yours, yes, your purpose. This is about your purpose. What is your purpose? How do you develop it? How is it tied to your environment and how you set culture? Because right now people are just fasting and they don't know why necessarily. They just following mob psychology. What we're saying is we are contesting the world on the things that we have, and we're about to get into this subject. So let us start. All right. All my folk in the chat, shout out to y'all. I see y'all on Instagram. All right. I see y'all on YouTube. I see y'all on Facebook. I need you to share this video. Hit the like button right now. Come on, let's get these likes up. And the reason why we want to get them up is because it will get people into this conversation. And you need people in this conversation. The reason why we want people in this conversation is because this conversation can change 1 billion people. Potentially. That's the potential in this conversation. It can change 1 billion people. All right, so let me share this outline. You see the book here. Let me share this outline from the book. And this outline is going to allow for you to understand the contents in this book. All right, so you should see that. And now we're going to go up. This is the short version of the book. I did not want this to be extensive. The other one is like 400 pages already. And so I got to edit some of this stuff out of the other book because it just gets too exhaustive. And I have to put them in several volumes. But really simple. We're talking about Aboriginal American history and Moorish history because we are the result of both of these particular things. And the world has you confused about who you are. We have to talk about, why do humans pray and meditate? Like, where do we learn that from? We're going to talk about the winter solstice. We're going to talk about Ramadan, what it actually means, the word, and the astronomical basis. We're going to talk about Manzils. Manzils are lunar stations. But these people are counting their Ramadan on a 350-day cycle when that is not even the calendar system of the Quran. And it is the calendar system that was learned by Moors from America. It's in the Paris Codex. It's in monuments. The Shi, misnamed Olmec Mayans, had the most sophisticated astronomical study systems on Earth. We invented the zero. We discovered the poles. We mapped out the cycle of the precession of the equinoxes before anyone on Earth, and other people got those things from us. And so that lunar calendar of 354 days is actually supposed to be a Manzil lunar station, which is 364 days plus 1 day. It's not supposed to be 354 days. Those are the calendars of the Ghassanids, the Lakhmids, all of those Arabs and other people. The Quran has a Manzil, solar, and sidereal calendar. In the text, we're going to talk about the Qiblah and the prayer system. You think the Qiblah is turning towards Mecca. You do not know what that word means. And it's all over the Quran. The prayer system, you do 5 prayers now. That's from Hadith. The prayer system has 3 daily prayers and 1 non-obligatory night prayer. And it follows the sun. Fajr, Zuhr, Asra, and Maghrib are the same, actually. And Tahajjud, midnight, all of them follow the sun. And there's a reason why you follow the sun. The Hadith are corruption. The Quran was not even published when you think it was published. The whole time scale is off. So we have to learn a whole new system. And that's what this book is designed to teach you. So now I'm going to use certain parts of the book to help you do that. But how I'm going to do it is very simple. I'm going to use my old literature, Lost Pages of Islam, Volume 2. I can't even show you Volume 3. Y'all would be going off. Got something going on here. People always text me when there's a technical issue. All right. So let me open the Lost Pages of Islam, Volume 2, so I can go back and start with why we are doing this, why we are doing it. The astronomical basis. I'm going to go there first. Let's go there first. And you're going to start to see why I do this. Now, conventional Muslims follow Ramadan in a 354-day schedule, and they use the moon to chart it. That's incorrect. And I'm about to show you from the Quran itself. You're not going to have to try to debate me on this. You can't debate me on this. I'm not here to even make you follow a certain religion. I want you to get the science out of this. The science out of this is purpose, enhancement of self, and using your mind and your brain properly to plan out your life in advance. That's what we're doing here. So let me go to the Lost Pages of Islam, Volume 2. Got it prepped. And we should have something that looks like this. All right, can y'all see that? Yeah, y'all can see that. Make that larger. All right, so now you can see this. This is me charting the rising sun. I was in Philadelphia when I did this one. It doesn't matter. We're all in the Northern Hemisphere. Charting this on November 25th, 2012. The sun was about to rise. You can see the count right here. Down here I was using Stellarium. And you can see Sirius right here in the southwest about to set on the horizon. This is south. Facing us is north. This is east. And this is west. It sets in the southwest. And so when you go to the Quran, to Surah 53, it states, by the star, when it sets, your companion is not incorrect, nor has he deviated. So this is the interface between the person who is receiving the Quran and the person who is teaching the Quran. No names are used in this because I don't want to confuse you yet. I want you to get this. The person who is receiving the teaching is interacting. Now, in traditional Islam, they tell you this is Jibril and Muhammad, and they're in a cave in Mount Hira, and the revelations are beginning. And that is when Ramadan starts, according to Quran, when the Quran was starting to get received. But it was not based on sighting a moon. Neither was Hajj. Hajj was based on the sighting of Hilali, not Al-Qamar. Qamar is the moon. Hilali is Venus. You can go through etymology, Nabatean, Arabic, Syriac, later invention of Hebrew, and find Hilal. And Hilali or Hilal is Venus. The moon isn't used to do anything. This is the truth. All right, so you see this verse right here. I'm going to go to the Quran. So when you start these verses up to about the 16th verse, it goes on and talks about the interface between the teacher and the receiver. That's when Quran tells you Ramadan starts. And when we can look at this, we can see that Sirius starts the setting in what? Novem. N-O-V-E-M. Novem. What does the word novem mean? The word novem means 9. Oh. Let me put my headphones on. The 9th month should actually be counted from spring. Not January 1st. The beginning of the year is spring. January 1st is a sacred day in our tradition, but it has nothing to do with a new year. It is celebration of a moment, a very special moment. But the new year on our calendars that we're using now starts around March 20th, 21st, 22nd, in that window. And then you count from there 9 months From March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. And as November is closing, you can see the date right here, 11/25, because we're counting from the middle, March 21st. As November is closing, you get Sirius setting. And now you're in the 9th period based on astronomy, not based on your belief system, not based on zodiacs, based on astronomy. This is important. 270 degrees of celestial measurement on the equatorial belt. What is on the equatorial belt? Orion, which points to Sirius. But from 270 to 300, that's the 9th period. All right. And we need, excuse me, I made a mistake. That's the 10th period, 240 to 270. And that's important. 240 degrees of celestial time to 270 is the 9th month. And then you got 3 months after that, that equal 360 of measuring celestially. And so this is important because the Quran is measuring a year at 365 days. As a matter of fact, you can look this up while we're talking. The word sana, which means year, occurs 365 times in the book. They wanted to hone it down that a year is 365 days. And Sirius is the star that we use to calculate the exact time for a year. Y'all need to understand what I am saying. I'm taking you back to science. I'm taking you out of spookism. Spirituality, as you know it, is spookism. Science, as you know it, is religion. And real science is nature and measuring nature and understanding its rhythms, its cycles, etc. And it can be validated both objectively and subjectively because it is a synthesis of both. It is material world that's based on you sensing things, and it is also the product of mind. I'll say that. And that's also in the book. So everything I'm saying to you, you can go outside and see. Everything they're saying to you, you cannot go outside and see. I'm talking all of the scholars on earth on this subject who are not saying what we are saying are absolutely wrong. Bring them into the chat. Hit your scholar up right now. We will open up the Quran and we can go line for line. Invite them in. Come on. But this goes way deeper. Because in this same surah, you have something called the Lot tree, which is a mistranslation. Sidrat al-Muntaha. We're about to go over it. Let's take a look at it. There's Sirius setting. This is how it looks when Sirius is setting in the west while the sun is rising in the east. You're about to learn what this means. I'm talking Minister Farrakhan. Imam Wafiddin Muhammad, Sheikh whoever in Africa, Sheikh whoever in Arabia, Sheikh whoever in Palestine, Sheikh whoever in Iran. The reason why an American is teaching you this is because it comes from America. Let me say that again. The reason why an indigenous American is teaching you this is because it comes, the knowledge comes from here and it spread to the East. Y'all got it wrong. I promise you got it wrong. And by the time you recognize what's going on, I hope it's not too late. For you. All right, so let's go into more of this. I just wanted you to see that. So now, check this out. Surah 9:36. How many times does 9 go into 36? 4. Woo, this is about to get deep, bro. So this verse says, surely the calculation of time periods with the law is 12 periods in Allah's record. That is the boundary in which he created the heavens and the earth. Of these, 4 are sacred. Traditional people will tell you this is intercalation and all kinds of weird things. No, it's the solstices and the equinoxes, bro. It is the 12 polarities and the solstices and the equinoxes. It is the movement of celestial bodies in a circle around a star, divided into 12. We did that for a reason. And 4 points are special on Earth because of how Earth is tilted. For those of you who still believe in flat Earth, I'm sorry. I don't have time to explain these things to you. Go get a telescope. You can at least see close planets that are spheres, starting with the moon. But these 4 sacred periods are the solstices and the equinoxes and nothing else. And the reason why that is important is because I'm about to talk about what happened in Surah Al-Najm and these 2 people interacting and why the winter solstice is even important. The winter solstice is called Laylat al-Qadr. It's called Laylat al-Qadr. Now I'm about to go back into Sirius so you can understand this clearly, because you understand it because you've been using the symbols your whole life, but you didn't understand what you were looking at. So let's go back to the book. Let's go back. Go back to the PDF. And let's talk about what Sidrat al-Muntaha actually is. Now, I'm about to blow your mind, but I have to blow your mind. Here we go. All right. Let's go back to the book. Go get the PDF, by the way. I'll put the link back in the chat because y'all don't understand. I condensed these things down. And the reason why I can do this is because all of my training and teaching was with children. So I know how to make very complex stuff very easy. Anybody who knows me, Muhammad's Islamic Academy, 26 and Cecil B. Moore, I was the principal there. And then I homeschooled my own children till they got to a certain age. So all of my training in teaching and pedagogy comes from teaching children. And you have to make stuff easy for children. Now, herein is the secret. They want to call our stuff mythology because we put it in games and stories. But putting it in games and stories teaches you patterns and rhythm. And that's all we're dealing with. Coherence, coherent energy, coherent forces, rhythm. So if I tell you a story and I edit the story out, give people nicknames, etc., but I'm still teaching you history, you're getting the rhythm. That's what you want to get. Academics is dry and secular because it's linear, which means it's going to run out of energy. Anything going in a straight line is going to run out of energy. Anything moving in a circle, listen to me. Anything moving in a circle is immortal. You're going to get it in a minute. Okay, so even though it goes in and out of perceived existence, oh no, it's immortal. You can never, the earth is going to go away and come back as the earth. I'm going to get to this. Anyway, the night of power is the winter solstice. That's December 21st. Laylat al-Qadr is December 21st. Every year. It's the longest night of the year. It is the time, and I'm going to show you this based on astronomy, where our Earth, our sun, and our galactic center are in a special alignment. It is a time, and I'm using words, where the Earth, in going around the sun, hits a special point. It's called the ecliptic. It's the plane of the Milky Way. And everything kind of lines up. So this is the first verse. Surah Al-Najm. By the star when it sets. What is the star? In that same surah, the star is given by name. In the 49th verse, open your Qur'ans. Y'all got Qur'ans? Open them up. And what do you see? Certainly, he is the Rab al-Shirah, the Lord of Sirius. How is Allah the Lord of Sirius? And what does Sirius have to do with the star and this particular surah talking about two men and the Quran being revealed? What is all of this, bruh? This is Indigenous Science 101. And it's telling you not only that person can receive revelation in this period, but this is a revelatory period. Meaning, the reason why we are praying during this time period is because we're about to get gifts, aka it's Christmas. You're about to get some gifts. Y'all don't understand what y'all been practicing. I'm about to break it down to you so clear, though. So Sirius is in the surah, the star. It's telling you when the star sets is when this person is receiving revelation. And this tells you when Ramadan is. And you can go outside, look at the stars, and you can see it and chart it yourself. I already put the video up 2 weeks ago, showing you how to look at Orion, chart Sirius, how you can see it. And winter solstice is a special moment of the alignment. Then January 1st is another alignment. And it's 10 days. And literally the Quran mentions these 10 days or the 10 special nights. And they got all kind of things about why it is. Let me tell you something. You cannot be academic and get this information. That's the problem. People are trying to be academic and get this information. You get this information not from objectivity, but from subjectivity. Inner sensory perception. That's what I want to say. All right, so let's look at this. We know it's the 9th period now. All right, we got that down. Check this out. Check this out. This is from a book by this man. Let me show y'all something. Let me show y'all something. First of all, let me show y'all something. This man right here, Ibn Washi. I have his book right here on ancient alphabets. Let me show you what page that information is in on so you can see. We're not making nothing up. We don't have to make nothing up. It's literally right here. The information that I'm reading is literally right here. And what does he say? Check this out. He said, now, keep in mind, they will try to make you think Ahmed ibn Washi came after Islam was here. This man talking right here in this book, there is no conventional Islam yet. It hasn't come yet. When he's writing this book, right here, there's no Quran yet. I'm going to prove it. But what does it say? In another encyclopedia work, the title of which is The Well-Arranged Pearls of Scientific Instruction, we become acquainted with the titles of some other curious works translated by the author. Under the article is the following passage. And among the oldest books upon this science of magic is the Sidrat al-Muntaha, the tree of paradise. Sidrat has multiple meanings. One of them is tree. Cedar, you see it right there. Cedar trees. The cedar trees of the Levant and northern Egypt. Evergreens, pine trees. Don't y'all use pine for all this medicine? You can go outside now and see those pines. Evergreens, trees that don't decay. So one meaning for cedar is a tree. Al-Muntaha means perfection or the highest level of something, the highest tree, okay? Translated by Ibn Washi. So he translated a book called Sidrat al-Muntaha. Wait a minute, what? Now let me tell you something. This book exists on Earth. I tried to order the book several times. I'm going to have to get Kwahu to order it for me. You cannot get this book in the United States of America. You can't get it. You got to be in Spain, Germany, UK. I'm about to show you how you could order it if you were in these places. But you can't order it here. But this is a book. Before the Quran. So the Quran is referencing, when it says Sidrat al-Muntaha, this book, and he's the author. In the same work under the head Natural Magic, which they distinguish from supernatural magic, we are told that natural magic is divided into two branches. The first treating of the knowledge of particular properties of plants, metals, animals. And the second of the composition and construction of artificial machines. I posted about another scientist that was about 500 years away from this one. Maybe 400. And I said that he was making automata, robots. And people tried to contest me and say, oh, well, he was the only one doing it. This is 370 something, almost 400 years earlier. This is, in your time schedule, the 800s AD. And yes, I'm saying 800s AD, we still don't have a Quran. There was no Quran in 622 AD, 7 something AD from Abd al-Malik. Abd al-Malik is contemporary with this guy. And these artificial machines, we know they're real because Muslims had missiles, torpedoes. Y'all didn't know this? The reason why the Moors were superior to Europeans is because they had better technology. And they had more advanced family systems. You're losing because you have weaker family systems. There was no such thing in ancient She culture, Olmec Mayans, or contemporary Moorish civilizations as a single mother. It was no such thing. It did not exist. Yeah, widows and people who had children or whatever. There was no child support. And everything, Everything, that you're associating with Tartaria is actually old Moorish construction. And it wasn't just there, it was here. Artificial machines, Sidrat al-Muntaha. So give me a moment. Y'all got to give me a moment. Y'all got to give me a moment. Y'all got to give me a moment. Y'all do not understand what has happened to you. So now you're getting the picture now. Hopefully, you're starting to get the picture. So this man is talking about Sidrat al-Muntaha. I'm going to tell you what Sidrat al-Muntaha is. Sidrat al-Muntaha is a symbolic tree. Got that? It's the lotus plant from Egypt. This ain't lot tree. No, lotus. It's a mixture of cannabis, lotus, ephedra, and poppy seeds. That mixture gives you something that you call Siyam. Siyam? Fasting? Oh, see, you don't know what fasting is. Fasting, the word for fasting, Siyam, is a word for entheogens and fasting. Because you're supposed to fast on entheogens. Remember, I'm about to ask you a question about why you even pray. I'm getting there. I'm building my way up. But Sidrat al-Muntaha. Now, let me show you something about Sidrat al-Muntaha. I cannot make this shit up, bro. Let me show you live from a website. Let's see if I can find this real quick. Oh, my God. Okay, so this right here, and I'm going to show you the outline, too, because I have the outline. Let's go back. Let me show you this right now. I'm on a website, and I'm going to show you two things. Please bear with me. Just hold on for a second. We're going to get there. Yeah, she's holding the lotus. She is holding the lotus. That's the American lotus, though. That's not blue lotus. It's a lotus in Mexico. She's definitely holding a lotus, though. Look what she's doing to it. She's smelling it. Pheromones. All right. This is about to get hot. Let me show you what I'm about to show you, though. All right. Now, y'all see this. This website is in German. It says, Das Kitab Sidrat al-Muntaha des Pseudo Ibn Washir by Christopher Braun. And so let me translate this real quick to English so you can see it. Introduction and edition and translation of Hermetic Allegory Treatise on Alchemy. This is his version. He's talking about the book. So there's the book, and there's this publishing of someone talking about it. It's in German, though. Now let me help you out a little bit more. Do y'all see this? I'm going somewhere with this now. Let me show you the next site. This is the same book. The text, Das Kitab Sidrat al-Muntaha des Pseudo Ibn Washia, is a published academic book, and a complete free PDF of the entire work is not available through standard search methods. The work is an introduction, edition, and German translation of an Arabic alchemical text compiled by Christopher Braun and published by Klaus Schwartz in 2016. It is not available for purchase from various booksellers and libraries. How to access the contents. So they're trying to tell you how to access them. I was at Linus just now. What's known about the manuscript Kitab Sidrat al-Muntaha? Here we go. The sole known manuscript of the alchemical text Kitab Sidrat al-Muntaha by Pseudo Ibn Washia is a unique document located in the library of the Escorial Monastery in Spain. Wahoo! Bro, we need this book. They are hiding this shit. This is a pre-Islamic book by an alchemist. Now, when I tell you who he is, that's when you're going to go crazy. You're going to say, boy, you done lost your mind. When I tell you who he is, this is why I have to show you the whole name. Here's what is known about the specific manuscript. The manuscript is held in the Real Biblioteca del Monasterio de El Escorial near Madrid, Spain. The treatise is pseudographical, attributed to Abu Bakr bin Ibn Washia, or Ahmed, a prominent figure in Arabic occult scientists, but was likely written by a different author. No, you're not going to get away with that. So the text is presented in the form of a dialogue between the protagonist, Ibn Washia, and another alchemist named Al-Maghribi al-Kamari. The introductory dialogue of the frame and the frame story with the manuscript contain various Hermes Trismegistus, that's Thoth, that's Jehudi. That's for I showed you he translated hieroglyphics for a reason. And a legendary discovery, Fundelginde, that introduces a cosmogony and an allegorical depiction of the alchemical process of transmutation. I'm about to go there, bro. The manuscript was the primary source for the 2016 academic book by Christopher Braun, which provided the first modern critical edition of the Arabic text, along with an introduction and a German translation. The content of the manuscript focuses on alchemical and hermetic philosophy, distinct from the general Islamic theological concept of the Sidrat al-Muntaha. Why is he writing something different? And why are they saying the Islamic theological concept, the Lot tree? No, bruh. The Quran is the same alchemical and hermetic teachings. They just can't read it. All right, so that's that. Y'all understand where we're coming from now? All right, let me go back. All right, so they got other little links here. Try to show you, what this stuff is. All right, so we got that. So the book exists. That's what I wanted to show you. The book exists. Now let me show you what you need to see. Let's go back to my book I just wrote so I can show you. Oh, this is about to get crazy. I promise you. Y'all have no idea. Listen, let me tell y'all something. Y'all have no idea what it's going to take to undo this shit. But you're going to learn. Your children won't get it. They'll get it. Y'all might not get it, though. I don't know. So, the cedars represent evergreens and pines and all of that. Sidra means star. Sidra Muntaha means the star of the highest heavens. So you got Sidra meaning a star in a tree. Ask me why you're putting a star on the top of your Christmas tree. Oh no, we're about to go in. Ask me why you're putting a star on top of your Christmas tree. You're putting that there because of the Quran, bruh. You didn't know that. That's why you're doing it. All right. Let me put it in more context. Sidra al-Muntaha refers to the period of 10 nights. This is Surah al-Fajr. Remember, Fajr prayer is the sunrise prayer. 89 and 1-2. Wa al-Fajr, by the sunrise. Wa layl ashra, and the 10th night. The 10th night in the second verse in Surah al-Fajr is literally New Year's. So Christmas, New Year's, the whole dropping of the ball, stars over trees, big rituals to hide the fact that the ancient systems were based on astronomical energies from God's first kitab, the universe, and from the Quran. We haven't even gotten over here to America yet. I promise you it's going to get hot in here. Hit the like button. Get folks up in this room. Y'all do not understand how far your people have been buried away from the truth. They're going to go to the mosque this Friday. They're going to go to the church. They're going to go in all of these. They're about to celebrate Christmas. They don't know what this is. Do you know what happens to you in the universe when you are in the universe? We're here. And you are out of sync and rhythm with nature. You can't win. You can't win. So here we go. Let's go further. Jibril was the person appointed to teach the receiver of Quran. Nowhere in the Quran does it say Jibril taught Muhammad. Go look for it. I dare you to find where it says Jibril taught Muhammad. In Surah 61:6, we can go to it. 61:6 mentions Ahmed, which is short for Muhammad, right? So let me go to my name count because I want to get this right. I want to get my count right. How many times is the name Muhammad mentioned in the Quran? In Surah 3:144, Muhammad is mentioned. Surah 47:2, Muhammad is mentioned. Surah 33:40, Muhammad is mentioned. Surah 48:29, Muhammad is mentioned. And Surah 61:6, Ahmed is mentioned. So Muhammad is mentioned 4 times, Ahmed 1 time. Stay with me. The name Muhammad is a variant of Ahmed. Where does the name come from? Hamd. You say Alhamdulillah. HMD are the variants. If I were to blow this up, you can see it right there. HMD. Take the vowels out. HMD. Take the vowels out and the personification. HMD. The H is guttural. So, let me prove a few things to you. Tawheed. You heard of Tawheed before. The oneness of God. It comes from what we're calling now Ethiopia, the Tawheedo. Which is Gi'ez. Because I'm going to get to Gi'ez in a minute. And Nabatean. This is a Nabatean. Right here. You see his name? Ahmed. You see his name is Ahmed. You see his name is Ahmed. The word Ahmed does not mean one worthy of praise. I'm sorry. You go to the Gi'ez. HMD means what? The land. The soil. The H is guttural. So you say Muhammad or Akh. It's like a K sound. Ahmed. I'm about to blow your mind. Because me saying that the Saracens, Saracens, Moors, who had a name switch to Muslim, all the same people, not being in Arabia, but being in the Thebaid in Egypt and being descendants of Egyptians, you need to understand what the word Ahmed or Muhammad means. It means the same as the word Kemet. Kemet, the K sound, MT. And what does it mean? The dark, rich soil. There's a reason why it meant soil. Alhamdulillah means the land is for God. Y'all don't get it, bro. Ahmed. Ahmed is the personification of a word that's derived from the original word for Egypt, Kemet. I can show you this in hieroglyphics. I did it in the Lost Pages of Islam Part 3. It's right above the head of King Tut with a serpent. Y'all don't understand? The word Muhammad meant he who is of the soil, of the land. He was telling the people that they were indigenous and they had been breached by outsiders, but not the outsiders that you think. The outsiders were the Sasanians and the Arabs, not the Romans. No, not the Romans. The Romans, aka Byzantines, were black. They're also Egyptian. This is why I had to go back to my research that I published 4 years ago and correct all of that first part. The word Rums, al-Rums, comes from the word Ramesh. Ramesh is the word that the Egyptians used to describe themselves. Then you got the tale of Romulus and Remus. Remus is Ramesh. Romulus is little Rome. He killed his big brother. Little Rome killed big Rome. Big Rome was Egypt. Go read Surah 30 and you will see that the Muslims are allies of the Romans. It says right in Surah 30 that the Romans lost the battle, but they shall win the battle in a few years. This text is talking about the Saracens aiding the Byzantines to fight the Sasanians and the Arabs. Why do you think I pointed out in the Lost Pages of Islam all of the verses in the Quran that show whoever authored the Quran hated the Romans? Excuse me, hated the Arabs, not the Romans, the Arabs. And the Sasanians are in there too. How do I know the Sasanians are in there? There's a surah called Al-Fil, the elephants. And it talks about a group of birds being used to attack an army of people on elephants. That is not Abyssinia. Who rode elephants into the Levant? It was the Sasanians with Indian elephants. You can look all this stuff up. It's all available. Surah Al-Fil is about the Sasanians. You can point out all the enemies to the Saracens or Moors. And you have to correct your history. There is no white Rome ever in history. Ever. There is no white Rome. There is no white Greece. It's fake. Greek isn't even a language. It is Punic. There's no people in history named Greek. You have people called Hellenes. No Greeks. Sorry. They let me tell you what these people have done. They have to do this. And if you're white, you're watching me, it doesn't matter. Your people never had a history until the Bible. Y'all were locked up in a cave, literally, in Eastern Europe, and were the slaves and had periods of apprenticeship to come into civilization. All of these wars that we're talking about right now in early Islam are black on black fighting. Because eventually the Byzantines and the Muslims or the Moors did fight each other, even after they allied at a later time. And so you're going to have to extinguish all of the shit that you have in your head about history, because history is supposed to be a story, not academics. But when you go back to academics, you can use the story to check it. I'm using Christmas to whip your ass right now, bro. Am I not? Am I not using Christmas to whip your ass? Christmas is a story about a myth. All right. Let's keep going. So, Jibril and Muhammad are the same person. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It might sound crazy to you because you're not reading. Jibril, Ahmed, Muhammad, same person. This person is the conduit to teach somebody Quran. Who he taught Quran to is Abd al-Malik. He says it in this book right here that he left his works in the treasury of Abd al-Malik. It's in here. Y'all gonna have to go back and study. That's all I'm gonna say. All I'm gonna say is y'all gotta go back and study. All right, so let's go. Let's keep going. Ramadan does not mean hot and heat, etc. The word Ra literally means to see. And it was represented in ancient Egypt by what? An eye or a sun. And both of them deal with what? Sight. And so the children, the lineal children of the Egyptians, when they wrote Quran, look at this. Ma'a kadaba fu'adama ra. The inner mind did not lie about what was seen. Ra. So the word Ramadan means to see perfectly. Perfect sight. This period from December is about you having perfect sight about what you want to come into existence for the whole 2026. Not about you studying a book from another man necessarily. You're studying a book from another man because you need to understand how pivotal it is to have purpose and how that happens. Purpose happens when you're in rhythm. This is a rhythm setting energy. Let me keep going. This gets hot. All right, the PDF shifted a little bit, but that's all right. We're going to fix that. And so let me come off of this. So let me go back and do all this over so you can understand what I'm trying to say. Ahmed ibn Washi is the Ahmed in the Quran. He's also the Muhammad in the Quran. Muhammad was a Nabatean alchemist. Another title he wore is Jibril. There are 7 angels, but those are titles. They're functions. And they literally go into alchemy. Alchemy is chemistry 2.0. I'm about to talk about alchemy right now. Or in a few minutes. Hit the like button, bruh. The Grinch stole Ramadan. Y'all remember that lecture? And so now where are we now? Now we understand the period from late November to New Year's. This is a holy period. Not a holy period by opinion, a holy period by electrical light field standard. Meaning you're going to program next year regardless. And some of y'all brought a lot of sugar honey iced tea up to this moment because you played around. You've been playing. But it won't be nobody's fault but yours. You need to understand it won't be nobody's fault but yours. And so the whole history of Islam as you have it right now is fake fugazi. It's fake. World history is fake. You don't know nothing about world history until you come into Arna. Let me say it again. You don't know nothing about world history until you come into Arna. Go find this information anywhere on earth. And then, as a matter of fact, come back to me after you think you found it, because I want to debate the person who says they have it. They don't. They don't. And so let's go back to the Quran. As a matter of fact, I think I got let me see. I might have a tab open so I could read from the text in transliterated form. Let's see if I have it. Because now we got to go line for line. All right. It's about to get hotter. All right. See if I can find this. Got to get my notes back together. Stuff got crazy. Where is it? Whew. All right. If I don't have it, I'll just open up another tab. Got like a million tabs open. So when you see stuff like this, when you see stuff like this, When you see stuff like this, now you're going to start to understand what this is. Saracens, Moors versus later Byzantine. The Crusades were not white versus black. That was black on black crime. These are not Hebrews, bruh. You see this? Look, let me blow it up. Matter of fact, let's zoom in. Going opposite, but okay. All right, you see it right here. That is not the Star of David, bruh. This is not the Star of David. These are not Hebrews, bruh. You want to check it? Look at the word. You see it right there. Who it is. This is Old French. The battle at Antioch. And so we have to get world history back straight. There are no damn Hebrew Israelites. What are you talking about? We got to set history straight because we're off right now. So now let's go back to prayer. Why do we pray? And why do we close our eyes when we pray? If you smart, answer that question in the chat. I'm waiting on you. Come on. Tell me why you close your eyes when you pray. I'm going to give you a clue, though. Why we do that? Those block out radiation. Why did the first, think about this. Why would the first person want to close their eyes to pray? Whoever was the first person that did it. Why would they want to do that? You have to use your subjective mind for this. I saw Washak said something really good. Yeah, have you ever heard this term, sleep is the cousin of death? Have you ever heard that? Well, if you heard that, sleep is the cousin of death, you need to know that prayer is the cousin of dreams. Prayer is the cousin of dreams. Get that ebook right now. Y'all need to get that ebook right now. Get all your Muslim friends and tell them to come over here and get this book. They give zakat to enemies all the time. The reason, okay, yeah, sleep is the cousin of death, and prayer is the cousin of sleep. The reason why we close our eyes when we pray is because somebody was high, either endogenously, because you can get high from chemicals in your own body. There are entheogens in your body. And they use endocannabinoid receptors. All right. You can look up endogenous cannabinoids, endorphins. We can make ourselves high without plants. We have to get healthier though. But getting high and having a dream. We've all had deja vu or some type of dream where something came true, right? The trend of closing our eyes when we pray is an attempt to reproduce what happens when we sleep. And when we sleep and we're in coherence. When we sleep and we're in coherence, we can have deja vu, vision, dreams, hear, see things before they happen. Or just the fact that you can see, hear, and experience things in your sleep, which are enhanced by intelligence. And when you sleep, your eyes are closed. So very simply, people are trying to reproduce what they experience in sleep through prayer. Now, let's go to some brainwave states. Because your sleep, and when you're asleep and dreaming, you're in a particular brainwave state, which means you would have to reproduce that in prayer. But in order to reproduce that in prayer, you can't be running to the mosque, running to the prayer mat, running to the whatever they do in the churches, whatever. You can't be running and rushing and running and rushing and running and rushing. Not only that, your prayer, like sleep, has to be on a circadian rhythm. It's not sleep on a circadian rhythm. Of course it is. Sleep is on the circadian rhythm of serotonin and melatonin. Sleep happens when it's dark. Not all the time, but that's the natural method. And so because sleep is guided by circadian rhythms, why are your prayers not guided by circadian rhythms? It's because you are not praying. I'm going to say it again. You're not praying. You're not meditating. It's off rhythm. To pray and meditate means you're on a circadian rhythm. And so what I put inside the book is to prove that the 5 prayers in Islam come from the Pale Arabs and their attempt to overthrow the Quran. Because the Quran only deals with 4 prayers. And it's based on those 4 sacred periods, rhythm of 4. And in a day, just like in a year, you have a rhythm of 4. What is your rhythm of 4 in a day? Sunrise, noon, sunset, midnight. The Great Cross. This is why when it came to Tuscaloosa, Chief Tuscaloosa, he had a cross as a symbol. Where did he get the cross from? His Olmec Mayan ancestors who have crosses everywhere. And that cross in that system is called what? Put it in the chat. What is the cross in Mexico called? What is it called? What is it called? What is the cross called? Put it in the chat. What is it called? Y'all don't know? Power to him. The Great 4. Who was the chief in Virginia? Power to him. Who was the Mayan god of writing? Power to him. What was the whole calendar based on? Powwows. There's no such thing as no powwow. Powwows happen on solstices. If you're not doing them on solstices and equinoxes, you're off rhythm. prayer, Fajr, is supposed to be at sunrise. Zuhr is supposed to be at noon. Asra or Maghrib is the west. It's supposed to be at sunset. Tahajjud or the Allel prayer is supposed to be at midnight, and each one has a frequency. Surah 3, verse 191 it doesn't have anything to do with the positions of salat. It says even if you lay on your side, the dhikr of Allah, the remembrance of Allah. Allah is light, by the way. We are not spooky at all. Go to your Quran. We got to understand what light is in another way. But the point is, you're supposed to be in circadian rhythm when you're praying and you're meditating. And what is more powerful than the stars, Sirius and the sun, that are setting the circadian rhythm? One for a year, one for a day. And you're supposed to do specific things. You got to get the book. I'm not telling you what to do at those. You're supposed to do specific things at each one of those. And if you do those, you're literally programming yourself at right angles. And what does electromagnetism do? It programs itself at right angles to itself. And what's at right angles? It's a mirror. One is a fulcrum. One is the event. You're programming your life on rhythm. I do breathing exercises at these times every day to relax my body. It keeps me grounded. It also keeps me very aware of what is happening around me. This is why no one can lie to me. And when they do, if I don't catch you immediately, I always catch you. Or I already caught you and you don't know because I'm not emotional to respond. Now I'm watching you differently. We need to understand that prayer is a circadian rhythm. Meditate, you just go into yoga and you meditate. Matter of fact, you go into yoga and you're meditating around people who stink. They got nasty pheromones. They got all kind of stuff going on. And so what we're saying is the whole prayers that y'all are doing are fake. All right? Fitra is the nature of its nature. Surah 30, verse 30. The fitra of Allah is the fitra of us. Maybe I can pull that up. Let's see if I can pull those verses up. I think I have those translated. If I don't, I could translate them straight out of my head. I might have that in a Facebook post. Let me see. Somebody asked a question about fitra. Let's see if we can answer that question. I usually keep things all right, so yeah, I do have this. This is from and look, I come online to laugh a lot. Y'all, I know I'll be playing. I mark it, but I really be teaching online, and I've been doing it for this particular way about Ramadan for 17 years. This is how I know black people are hard-headed, and most of them will never listen. But that's okay. That's not my fault. I'm a servant. Here we go. August 28th. Nine of Hearts. No, excuse me. It's not a Nine of Hearts. It's a Jack of Hearts. Jack of Hearts, the cross. All right. Allah's fitra is the fitra of the original man who has and lives a true knowledge of themselves via knowing Allah's creation. Quran Surah Al-Rums, the Romans, same surah. This is the Arabic right here. All right. You see it? So set your entire person to perfect judgment. Deen means judgment. Deen does not mean religion. Deen comes from din, and din is the Sumerian word for a judge. Deen means to judge. So set your entire person to perfect judgment. Allah's nature. Fitrata Allah. That in which is human nature. Allati fatara inasa. Nas is humanity. Same word. Upon it, al-aleha, on it or upon it, there is no debate over Allah's creation. What is it telling you? You're supposed to judge based on nature, not your belief, not your feeling, not your fake code, not your misunderstanding of the Bible or Quran. No, you're supposed to judge based on creation. Then it says, that is what? That is the most perfect method of judging. But most of the humans are not aware. Ooh, this gets deep. Al-Qadra. So now we're dealing with Al-Qadra. Y'all see this? Let me go back. Now we're dealing with Laylat al-Qadr, the night of destiny, or the night of fate. The night of fate is when you become restricted to time, 9 to 5, because you do not know how to cooperate with other human beings to get shit done. So I have a testimony for myself. This entire year, me trying to work with people based on plans, they had other plans. And so because I was in agreement with it, it disrupted me in certain places. This is why you cannot, when you are serious in life, you cannot let unintelligent people disrupt your rhythm, no matter what. Because if you do, you become responsible for that non-coherence. Because how is someone judging? You know how they're judging? Based on how they feel. Hold on, I posted this. Let's go back to my Facebook. My Facebook be rocking, y'all. Subscribe to my Facebook. Subscribe to my channel. All right. And we put the prayer times out there, so y'all should know what the prayer times are. I translated Al-Fatiha for you. We did all this stuff for you. Made it easy. But let me get to this point that I'm making, because this deals with how you set your rhythm, bruh. How you set your rhythm in life during this time period that we're in. I'm telling you. So let me go. Here you go. Go back to my Facebook. Let's go back to my Facebook. I can use Facebook to teach y'all. I got all this stuff posted there. Go. Surah 25, verse 43 to 44. Have you not seen the one who takes their emotions for their God? Then it asks you a question. So now you're watching someone who's taking their emotions, their feelings, how they feel about something, how they're not vetting it through any natural law standards, any codes that are in a conformity with nature. Either they don't know how, or they know how, but they refuse to. Either way. It asks the question, will you be a protector of them. How many times in life have you tried to protect, aid, assist people who are off rhythm? Now, guidance is one thing. That's not protecting them. That's advising them. Then it goes on to say, or it's asking you now, or do you think most of them actually listen or are aware they are not within al-anam? And this is where we're going to get it, because they translated it to cattle. You want to go look at this verse? It says they are like cattle. No. Al-anam is not cattle. When you say it in Al-Fatiha, al-anta alayhim, that doesn't mean cattle is upon them. It's right in the Al-Fatiha. I'm going to show you. Al-anam are the divine laws, and they are thamaniya, 8 in pairs. The 8 in pairs is on your periodic table. There are 10 generations of particles. They all go in 8 pairs. Meaning the atoms around you conform to what I am saying. That's alchemy. That's what Ahmed Ibn Washi is trying to get out. That's what he taught Abd al-Malik in the Quran. Surah 69, ayah 17. And 8 will be upon them, or their Lord's throne of power. Nothing will be hidden. I'm going to read that verse for you. They are not with the divine law. No, they are very far from the proper way. So everybody want to do Ramadan on the Arab schedule? I'm not arguing with you. I am your opportunity to get in rhythm with light. Regardless of whether you like me. Maybe you had a bad interaction with me before in life. Hell, I am not without flaw. But when it comes to this, I'm not doomed. Because this is a part of my purpose. When you do something that's in your purpose, you do it easy, you do it fun. It's not hard. Listen. Y'all need to understand, I don't have to study a lot. I have studied a lot, and I have periods when I condense study, but that's not what I have to do. I do that to organize what I already know subjectively. Because now I got to talk to people, and they live in the secular world. They live through their senses. I do not live only through my senses. I live through the thing that creates senses. Or I strive to my best to do that. And so, have you not seen the one who takes their emotions for their God? I need you to think about this, especially women. Shots fired! Especially women. Because now we got to deal with your limbic system and how you're designed. And what type of men you are producing now. What type of sons you're producing now. When they grow up and how they become, how they interact with women. I'm going somewhere. I'm going somewhere. I'm going somewhere. I'm going somewhere. Will you be a protector of them? Or do you think most of them actually listen or are aware? It's simple. Now let me show you something else from the Quran. Hold on. Let's just go there, because now I got to do this. I got to do this. I got to do this. Where is my Quran? It's somewhere. It's in here somewhere. Let me pull it out. Oh, there we go. Let's go there. Let's go there. Now I got to deal with what the real problem is and how we solve it. I got to deal with this. I am not eating any food today, but it's so interesting how that impacts you in a positive way. Because I'm coming to 3 more points and then I'm getting out of here. I kept y'all long enough. I didn't want to keep y'all even this long. But tomorrow the fast is starting. During the day, we're going to talk about how you should carry yourself. But I want you. Oh man, I got to get this. Hold on. Oh, here it is. Y'all going to have to read. That's all I'm going to say. Y'all going to have to read. Read. That's how the Hebrew Israelites said. Read. I just want to be able to find this for you real quick. I'm marking all my things. I should have actually marked this. Yeah. This is dope, right? Woo! All right. Watch this. Let's go to Surah 2, Ayat 222. This is going to get interesting. Now, I've done this for sisters as long as I can remember. But I need you to understand the quality of what's here. Because now I'm about to go into some upper echelon discussion. All right, let me pull this up. Give me a minute. Give me a minute. Y'all can be patient. Give me a minute. I just want you to see this. You gotta see this. All right, here we go. So, I'm mentioning this because we're on the point. That's all. Don't get upset. And they asked you about menstruation. Say it is harmful. Harmful for who? So keep away from women during menstruation. Listen. And do not approach them until they have become, some verses say healed, some verses say pure. The question is, why are you menstruating? Oh, you're menstruating because that's how you get pregnant. And, we need you to have an egg release in order to get pregnant. No! Wrong. Wrong. Wrong, 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 wrong. Wrong, 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 wrong. Ovulation and menstruation are not the same thing. in the sense of a releasing of an egg. They can go together, but you can have one without the other. Either way. Either way. Now, I know it's a lot of y'all studying the women's cycles and all of this. Let me be very clear. Those 4 phases are not natural. Let's say it again. Those 4 phases are not natural. You think they're natural, they're not natural. And this goes back to the last verse that I read, because this is tied to your limbic system. This is tied to pheromones. This is tied to grounding yourself. This is tied to being in rhythm. This is tied to idolatry. When a woman is healthy, she does not ovulate until she is in the presence of her man. And he is releasing pheromones that says he wants to have sex. That's the only time you're supposed to ovulate. You're never supposed to bleed. That's okay. You can teach about the 4 cycles because that is where we are now. It's a relative truth. It is a truth. This is way advanced truth. And y'all not about to be here tomorrow. I promise. Because y'all don't even have the men that can help y'all get there yet. We're trying to create that moment. So you can keep teaching what you're teaching. It's in rhythm relatively. I'm going a little bit beyond that. So when we talk about cloistering, people think that I'm just talking about not being in the presence of certain people. That's like preschool. Then you get kindergarten where you realize it's not the presence of people that's making this trigger. It's my perception. And perception is based on, first, your senses. You have receptors on your cell, you have eyes, you have ears, you have senses. But then you go beyond senses and you realize something. That every effect around you has a cause. If you make the effect a cause, you are an idolater. This is about to be a hard conversation, but we're going to go there. And so, me teaching people fasting, eating 1 meal a day, that's not the goal. That is a habit that can improve your self-control, your discipline, and your perception. So, not eating during the day, except if you're pregnant, you got to eat. If you're nursing, you got to eat. If you are sick, you got to eat. If you are a child, children don't need to be fasting. You got to wait till they're 18. If you're sick, yeah, all those things. You got to chill. We're talking now to the people who are adults who can fast during the day. Tomorrow, you're not supposed to be eating until sunset. If you've never done this before, drink some water. If you've done this before, you really don't need. You can do a dry fast. Drink your water in the morning before sunrise and get into your rhythm. But now you got to encounter people. Some of y'all got to work. Some of y'all got to do all kinds of things. Regardless, you need to understand what I'm saying to you. Cause. The ultimate cause is light. But light is not the sun. The sun is something you can look at that has radiance. This is what Ahmed Ibn Washi is trying to teach people. This is what all the ancients who had awareness is trying to teach you. They're trying to teach you, you don't know who you are. Your real self is light, aka Allah. During the day, if you're a healthy adult, you're not supposed to eat or drink anything, except for, if you're new to this, drinking water. We're getting on circadian rhythm now. You want to feed what? Your senses. So you want some cacao during the day. You can have it if you want to. I can't tell you what to do. I'm just recommending what establishes discipline, and you paying attention to whether or not what we're calling the material plane has control over you. Because if it does, you are an idolater. It doesn't mean that you can't enjoy physical creation, because we are literally self-created beings. We came here to have lots of fun here. But there's some things you need to learn about yourself. And fasting begins to teach you that. Or correcting the way you talk to people. That any form of discipline starts to show you whether or not you're coherent in rhythm. Doesn't mean you can't cuss a nigga out, because that might be the right moment to do. The Quran is very clear on that. Retaliation is lawful. Y'all can do what y'all want. Get the book. I got it there. It's literally $20. Read it and make your own decision. This video is left up for free. I've done others before. But I wanted to show you this because it starts the conversation. And what is the conversation? The conversation is, let's pull my stuff back up, because now we can go right back into it. Let's pull this up. All right, so I'm going to go to Al-Fatihah's translation, and I'm going to help with using the Al-Fatiha prove my point. Here we go. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Bismillah means in the nature. Bismi. Be in ismi, the name or the nature and the power. Who is Allah? Allah is the self-creating or self-created God. That's you, but you don't know it. But the part of you that it is, you don't see it necessarily using your eyes, because your body is going to die. But your body comes back too. Here's where it gets hot. The master of self-awareness, the perceiver of all truth. Al-Rahman Al-Rahim. Ruh. Now, here's where we start translating. You've heard the term Ruh. Allah gave Adam, it's Ruh. Ruh. Ruh does not mean, well, it can mean breath, but that's not the thing you need to focus on. Ruk means authority. I'm going to show you how they wrote it in Punic, how they're writing it in Kara, and what it means. So Rahman Rahim does not mean the beneficent, the merciful. Please, the root word is there. The words are entendres. So you have Ruach and you have Hama. And you have a suffix. Rahman, Hama. Hama is carbon. It is that black stuff. Adam is made of Sasaline, Hama, Masnoon. This is where they get the children of Ham from. Cam, Kemet, Ahmed, Ham. The black stuff. So Ra, Hama, Ra is to see, remember. Hama is the black stuff, the light. Rahman Rahim means the master of self-awareness, the perceiver of all truth. Then you have the Ruach part, which means authority. Cairo or Shiro, literally, or Heru. Ruach and Heru are the exact same word flipped around. As a matter of fact, the name of the ruler of the Holy Roman Moorish Empire, Arkan. Arkan is the same word as Ruach. It means authority. So in the nature and power of the self-created God, the masculine, the authority over the masculine and the authority over the feminine. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah. I told you what that meant. Alhamd. Hamid. The land. The land represents security. It represents grounding. It also represents the composition of the breakdown of rocks or crystals that allows for life to come about. Microorganisms, plants, animals, and people. So soil is sacred in chemistry and alchemy. I promise I'm going somewhere. Alhamdulillah is showing you transmutation. It's showing you creation. It's showing you security. All right. So, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen. Rab is a teacher. Rab is a master. Rab is a Lord. Alameen. Al-Amin. The worlds. Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Master of judgment. Yom is a period. They say a day. It's a cycle. It is the master of judgment or perception or discernment through cycles, through rhythm, through coherence. You cannot become a master, a Rab of Deen, of perception, of judgment without understanding cycles. So now you go back to menses. Menses, the word menses means month. Women always say, my cycle, but they're talking about bleeding. Think about this. They're talking about a harmful cycle. You cannot be Maliki Yom Medin without the awareness that you're off rhythm and it's causing you to have this momentary thing that happens to you. By the way, men go through bad cycle too. And it leads to, just like women have menopause, men have andropause. It's a lot to unpack here. Malik Yomidin. Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'in. Idina sirat al-mustaqim. Idina, guide us. Or we are guided. Sirat al-mustaqim. On the proper way, the correct path. Y'all see where we're going with this? Idina sirat al-mustaqim. Sirat al-ladina an'amta alayhim. An'am, the way of those who have divine laws bestowed upon them. They know the laws. The laws are 8. Go to Surah 69. It'll tell you right there. Go to Surah 39:6. It'll tell you right there. You keep having this Haniyat Tamaniya. Or just Tamaniya. The 8. The great 8. What are the great 8? It's all here. I put the words here so you can break this stuff down. I'm giving you more than what I put here. And there's a lot to go over here. But this is your rhythm. This is what you can say while you're in prayer. If you don't know no prayers, then we have more advanced prayers in our indigenous system, the Zulucan system. We have prayers. I've only taught 2 people. And I'm reluctant to teach people that because you can't teach everybody certain things. But you got the Al-Fatiha. You know what that is. Now, let me go to something else. Let me stop this. My bad. I want to go to, because I'm about to get off of here. I've been on here long enough. I'm gonna sum this. I want to get a nice little summary, and then we're going to get up out of here. I want to go to page 45. Just because I said this to you. And upon them 8 will be that day their Lord's throne of power. 8. What does that even mean? They don't have any idea what that means. I'm telling you what it means now. Eight pairs. Tamaniya Azwaj. All right. So let's go through this. I'm not going to go through all the chemistry, but I want to show you how deep Ahmed ibn Washi is and Abd al-Malik. Al-Hadid is the 57th surah. It's called iron. It's the 57th surah now. In modern world chemistry, which I do my chemistry different, but I'll use those because there's a way I can explain through it. Iron on the periodic table has 26 protons and 31 electrons. That's what? 57. Now, we really count 57 toroidal rings of electricity. Very small, all right? That's what atoms are. They're little small donuts. Well, when you get to one element before hydrogen, they become that. Prior to that, there's something else. And the Quran deals with that too. Like I said, there's 10 generations of particles, 3 that are zulumatin, which means 1 to 2 dimensional. Zulumatin means darkness. And that word is used in the Quran. Then there are 7 that are 3-dimensional. And this is why Allah keeps saying that he made the 7 samawati. You think that means something that it doesn't. It has multiple meanings, but it means something in alchemy. Hadid, when the letters are converted to abjad, all right, D, HDYD, all right, 8, 4, 10, 4. It equals 26. How did the authors of Quran make the word for iron equal 26, and it is the 26th element on the periodic table? What you don't know is you can't just arbitrarily organize the periodic table. It has to be in rhythm because it's based on nature. Al, when you add the Al to Hadid, it's 57. 26 protons, 31 electrons, or 57 toroidal rings. Iron 57 is used in industry to calculate the Moss-Bauer spectroscopy, which allows for the measurement of levels of iron in geological formations. Moon, rock, Mars, rock meteors, used to calculate the transverse Doppler effect of the red shift and blue shift. This is how we see things in outer space. This is how you see things in real life. As a matter of fact, carbon has 6 red rings and 6 blue rings that are toroidal that make a sphere and an incandescent shine to it with a backdrop of blackness. That's red, white, and blue. Y'all playing, bro. The formation of iron marks the death of a star and the birth of a planet. And look at what it says in Surah 57, verse 26. And we sent down. Yeah, I'll put that there because that's not there from the sun. Iron. Where does iron come from? Iron does get sent down from the star to your local planet to form the planet. That's how the planet generates a magnetic field. That's how it gets an iron core. Who in the Quran knew iron was sent down from the star to create the planet, wherein there is a great strength and many uses for people? How did they know this, bro? Like, are y'all paying attention to what I'm saying? Maybe not. Let me stop. I'm talking too much, actually. Let me stop. Y'all need to understand something. And where did they get it from? Off the temple walls. Yeah, where did they get it from? So, as a matter of fact, I had to close out on this point. This was the point I wanted to close out on, actually. It's about to get hot. I'm going to close on this point right here because this is what your problem is right here. This is all of our problems right here. Let's go back to the book. Surah 39. I got 42. Look at what it says. Allah takes Yatawafa. Now, Yatawaf means to circle. Like you do tawaf They do it when they go to that fake little box over there. It's not a fake box. It's oracular center, but they turned it into the Kaaba. Anyway, it's not the original place of Islam. But anyway, they make a circuit. Tawaf is a circuit. So Allah circuits the mind waves al anfusi, or from nafs. Some people say the soul. I said mind waves for a reason. Allah takes the mind waves upon your death. When you die, a Quran is saying Allah takes your mind waves. And those that do not die during sleep. You're going back to sleep. So you lay horizontally, usually when you're asleep. You close your eyes and you go off into another state of awareness. You can dream, you can have deja vu, you can see things, you can have visions, you can do all that. How is it that you have deja vu or something of the nature where you see something in the future, then it happens? This is telling you that the physical world is the effect, and it is bound to time, and the mind is the cause, and it is not bound to time. And the reason we are doing Ramadan in December, started on December 1st, leading up to the winter solstice, which is December 21st, ending it at New Year's, which we have highlighted. All of these are sacred days in our system that they have overlaid. The reason we're doing it now is because it's going to put your mind back in rhythm so that things that have not happened in January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November of 2026, you can decide now what that will be before it happens. For those of you who read the Zulukin, you can see it. You can see the energies, and you can, if your mind is coherent, because you can read the cards and see something, try to make something happen, and it won't happen. You can read the ancestral system. You can read, it won't happen, because coherence is not just reading these things. Coherence is a whole nother thing. But anyway, so Allah circuits the mind waves upon your death and those that do not die during sleep. Then he withholds those mind waves upon whom the decree of death occurs, and sends the other mind waves back when you wake up till the appointed time. Certainly there are signs in this for a people. Now let's go further. The Quran literally says, Allah, in 238, Sibgata Allah waman ahsan min Allah sibgatin. Allah's color. And what is better than Allah's color? What color is Allah? And then it goes to next verse say, Wa naknu lahu abidunna. And we are servants of it, Allah's color. I'll just break it down to you. It's black. God is black. And God in person will always be black. No, let's keep going, because now we gotta pay for our lack of awareness. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. We're not done. Surah 228. This is the traditional translation. How can you deny Allah and you are without life and he gave you life? Again, he will cause you to die and again bring you to life. Then you shall be brought back to him. This is my translation. How can you deny the light and you were without manifest life and it gave you manifest life? Again, the light will cause you to lose manifest life and again bring you to manifest life. Then you will be circuited back to Allah. Okay, here we go. I'm done with this now. Let me come off of this. You see, this is not even a thesis. I'll say to you it's a thesis, but this is real. If you know transmutation, you never get away. Now, I never like to talk about the hereafter because people are spooky and their idea of the hereafter is spooky. They think that they think that, I want to say this right. They think that they're going to hell or heaven. And that's not necessarily what's happening. This form that we're in is an effect of your mind. When you die, as you perceive it, the body is gone. You don't die. You are in a hyperdimensional dream state based on the life of coherence or non-coherence that you live until you incarnate again. And two things are going to happen in that hyperdimensional state. You ever had a real good dream or a real bad dream? Imagine living your life as a fucked up person and going into hyperdimensional space and having a nightmare that you cannot wake up from. But then when you do wake up, you're born again with all, I mean ALL, all of the fucked up energy that you left the last time. Then imagine living a life of peace, of purpose, and going into hyperdimensional space and having a dream that feels like you feel when you're high. And when you come back the dopest motherfucker ever, every time. So what we're saying is, when you leave here, the physical plane, that is the effect of the mind, you come back, same body. Let me stop. I can't teach this unless I teach other things. But it's all in the Quran. It's in your Quran, but you're misunderstanding it. You think you're going to be on raised couches, drinking grapes or whatever. What they were trying to project to you is that you are immortal. No, it doesn't just repeat every day. You're missing the point. I promise. Yeah, we go to sleep and we wake back up, and that's a resurrection. I'm talking about something way more complex. I'm telling you why you need to be a peaceful person. See, you got the spooky people. There's no time. Time is something we created. There is time. Time is real. We made time. We made time for a reason, but it's how we use it. Everything is our tool. It's too much philosophy, but I'll stick with this. You better off being a good person because it carries with you forever. And if you are a fucked up person, I promise you, it carries with you forever until you change it. Sometimes you can look at children and wonder why they're fucked up. And I'm telling you, they are reliving lessons that they had before, and they have not championed those things. It stays with you. It's recorded on toroidal rings. I can literally go into this science for you, just like you can play a DVD back, just like you can pull microfilm. Everything that you do is recorded. The periodic table can show you where it's recorded. It's way beyond generational curses. It is recognizing your divinity and living in it or not. And everybody gets the opportunity in their lifetime to be a better person. What you have before you now is tomorrow you get a celestial moment to start so that you can fast, breathe, calm, reset yourself for the next year. That's what this is all about. This is about you resetting yourself, getting in rhythm, making better decisions than you have made, stopping all the fuck shit that you do, secretly or not, and getting in line. This is why we need real men in the community. This is why we need real women. I'm not spooky. I'm not telling you to try to be holier than thou. What I am telling you is that holiness is a state of mind and a state of peace. And so what you have to do is take responsibility for yourself in the best way that you know how. We studied all of this so we can have a time that we reset ourselves and we visualize what we want our next year to be in harmony with a cycle. Go back and watch this video. It's 2 hours and 20 some odd minutes. Study it. Download this book right here. It's right there. You can go to Aboriginal Medical Association. It's an easy download. It comes with everything. Everything is already there. If we want to fix humanity, you got to fix yourself. I'm done. Peace. I'll be back though, because I'm going to do a live every week just to give some detailed education so we can help you understand these things. Because I'm at the end of doing these live. I've been doing this shit for 17 years on this subject. There's no reason for me to keep trying to educate people. It's recorded. It's in books. It's all over YouTube. It's everywhere. People have an opportunity to study the things that they need to study to get into a better position for their lives. This is just my offering as a servant of the community so that I can do what I'm born to do, and possibly I can help someone else do what they're born to do. Now, I see people in the chat. I see people hitting my phone up, talking about, I need to talk to you. Just imagine that. It's 11:30 at night. I literally haven't eaten no food all day. I've been teaching y'all for why would I get on the phone with your crazy ass at 11:30 at night? That shows you have no respect for another human being. People do that to me all the time. Run up on me after I've been doing something. This is not necessarily tedious, but part of it is. So I'm seeing all these texts. Stop texting me. I'm literally not going to answer the text. I'm about to take we literally about to hit tahajjud. I'm about to take myself, lay right down on this couch right here, close my eyes for a few minutes, and calm my mind down because I just had to interact with all of y'all. So y'all get it. Love y'all though. Peace. We out.